Hey everybody, and I hope you're having a great day today, and welcome back to the channel. Today I wanted to talk about my recent experiences with Hades and why I decided to do a video about it, so let's talk. In the last several years of my life, I've been trying to stay motivated to play games and try new ones that release, but for the most time, I have mostly felt that the new AAA gaming experiences have honestly been lacking that magic that they once had back in the day. That's not to say there isn't great games released today, because there totally is. It's more so that they just feel that they lack some imagination and creativity in some parts. But honestly, Hades does not feel like one of those games. Hades has an addictive gameplay loop and an incredibly fun and expressive combat system, ranging from several different weapons and variations. Being a roguelike game, it follows the same formula of progressing through the biomes in the game, and when you die, you start from the beginning, while upgrading your skills from resources you collect during your playthroughs. That's just a quick summary that I would give this game, but I want to dive a little deeper into why I like this game. In Hades, there are 4 biomes that you have to make it through to complete a run of the game, and at the end of each biome you have a boss battle before moving on to the next biome. This is essentially what makes the core of the whole game, and although this doesn't sound like a lot, trust me, you'll be doing hundreds of runs through these biomes. And the game always finds ways to make new runs interesting and engaging, whether that's giving you multiple choices when choosing which doors you want to progress through, or how you want to micromanage your builds. Not to mention just how amazing the art style is for this game, on top of every single character in this game being voiced, instead of just purely text based.
But that a sudden scourge of war would help you out of your predicament. Why, I would stir one up for you without a second thought.
Which to me was something that they didn't even need to do, but the developers went the extra mile in this area, because not only are they voiced over, but the voiceovers themselves are actually really good. It ends up adding a lot of shine and quality to the overall story, as you feel more invested in what's going on, and gives the gods a lot more personality over simply just reading the text for yourself. So touching what I said earlier about combat, the game has several styles of play that you can make your own, ranging from the sword, the bow, the spear, and a few others in the mix. None of the weapons in Hades ever truly feel like they are bad or weak. You always feel it's more about picking what's right for your playstyle over what is actually the strongest weapon. Unlike other roguelike games, where there are a lot of other weapons you encounter in your runs that you simply don't want to play with, or the weapon itself just isn't simply to your liking. Instead, Hades just lets you pick the weapon you want to do the whole run with, and build around that weapon with boons from the gods. I actually prefer this system because it actually allows you to pick your favourite weapon instead of just randomly getting a weapon that you don't even want to use. Although I do know that this system won't be for everybody who loves roguelike games, as this might make the game stale on using one weapon for the game instead of picking up multiple weapons on a single run. On top of having access to boons which you acquire in your runs by picking them up after clearing a room, or a few other ways that can alter how your weapon or your character itself plays. Whether that's using Zeus to add elemental damage to your weapons, or giving your dash the ability to leave thunderstrikes behind you, or using the Artemis boon to give you an overall strength of your attacks as a buff. The boons of the gods make it so that your runs are never boring, and that each run you could end up acquiring some very strong boons with some excellent synergy to make a build that completely destroys everything in your path. Then, on top of the boons, you find that you also have the addition of keepsakes that you get for gifting nectar to any of the characters and the gods. The keepsakes are something that you can bring into a run to give yourself a permanent effect during the run. This can range from giving yourself a HP buff right from the start, or giving yourself the ability to attain a higher rarity boon from one of the gods. You also have the ability to level up each keepsake up to level 3 and enhancing the effects of them, and since there are a plethora of keepsakes, there is always something suited to your playstyle, or something that works in synergy with the weapon that you want to use for the run. It just ends up adding an extra bit of flavour to your playstyle. The thing I love in Hades is that the game never has too much downtime, and it encourages you to complete many runs of the game. Even when you die, it never feels like it was a waste of time, since you can use darkness you acquire in the game. You can then upgrade any skills you have at the Mirror of the Night. So while you are constantly making upgrades between deaths, you are always pushing forward and making progress, even if you don't get a single run done for hours. Although this is something that other roguelikes like Dead Cells do really well, in Dead Cells you still have to make it to the Legendary Forge to push the rarity of the items you have to a higher level. And lastly, I just want to quickly touch on God Mode, as this is a little controversial I feel between the player base for this game. For myself, I think God Mode does a great job in aiding you in the game without making the experience feel mindless or boring. Instead of simply making you invincible, Each time you die, you gain a small percentage of resistance to your character that permanently stacks across multiple deaths. I believe the maximum amount of resistance you can get on the stack is 80%. I personally am using this myself, but I am trying to get the Platinum Trophy, and there isn't really any need to make the trophy more difficult than it needs to be at this point. Overall, Hades is a game that you will get totally lost in for many hours, and I will warn you that if you do get caught up in the gameplay loop, you are going to find it very hard to break away from it once you start. I'm also hoping to do a Platinum Trophy review for this game once I do attain the Platinum for myself, so look out for that too. As always, if you do enjoy the content, give the channel that buff and click the like and subscribe button. The Discord link is in the description too, so if you want to join the group and talk to like-minded people, come hang out and introduce yourself. Well, that wraps it up for today, but with all that being said, take care guys, and have a good one.